Hey guys, it's Friday, Chats with Chels. You guys may have saw my adventures on Instagram this morning. I'm hanging outside the liquor store to pick up a beer, waiting for it to open. So I have a special guest today. This is Billy from Best Kind Butchers.
Hi.
So he's totally not normally what you would think of when you think of a butcher. You generally think of like a 60-year-old man, I don't know.
Yeah, I got the mustache though.
You're not quite 60 yet, though.
No, I'm not. I'm not 60.
So what we're going to start off with is you're just going to tell us a little bit about Best Kind Butchers, how you got started, what it's been like, your experiences. So if you just want to kick us off.
I got into butchery because I was in Toronto actually for music, and I needed a part-time gig, so I got a job at a butcher shop in Kensington Market called Sanigan's Meat Locker. So I was working the line, hawking meat, selling products to people, learning the cuts and where they came from, and then I kind of was doing the music thing, and I was looking for something else, and I approached the owner and asked him if I could try butchery, and here we are.
When you think of two things that go together, music and butchery is not usually the first thing that you think of.
Slaughterhouse Rock or something, like Guar.
So what was it that made you decide, like you're in Toronto, you're pursuing this really sick music dream, and then... Are you from Newfoundland originally? I guess I never asked.
Yeah.
You sound like you are, but...
Okay, good. That's good.
So I guess what was it that, you decided I'm going to move back to Newfoundland?
I think I always knew I was going to move back to Newfoundland. I always identified as a Newfoundlander, so I think I always had it in the plan to come back. I was living in Toronto for 5 years. I lived in Halifax for 7, and I really felt passionate about what I was doing with the butchery, and there was no one really doing that here, so I was like, I'll come home, live with my family, live with my friends, and try to do this new venture that no one else has done.
So this is making me think of that song by Shanniganok, The Islander. The city life's too fast for me, nobody has the time.
Well, honestly, I do like Toronto. I do. I like the fast pacedness, but at the same time, I'm happy to be back in Newfoundland and to be living this lifestyle. That's
totally true. It's so funny. I have been all over the world, but have not explored Canada as much as I should.
Right.
So last year I was flying to London over my February break, and I had a 13-hour layover in Toronto. And so I took... Have you been on that train thing? They have a really cool train that goes from the airport directly into the city.
Yeah, the GO train, or you mean the subway?
The up, is that what it's called? The Union Pearson Express?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
I can't believe I remember that.
It was right next to my house.
What? You live? Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got out there at 9:30 in the morning, and I think I was flying out at 7. And I was like, what can I do for Toronto in the day? Or in Toronto for the day. And I was like, I haven't spent a lot of time here. I don't know. So I went up getting day drunk by myself.
Nice. Always good. Always good.
I went in the CN Tower too, and it was not how I remembered it. When you're 7, it seems like
a lot bigger,
right? And then I got up to the top, and I was expecting all this excitingness, but you just kind of walk in a circle, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
Well.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a big city, but so you got day drunk.
I got day drunk. I went to the Amsterdam brewery, which was really amazing. I don't know if you've been there, but they
offered me a job.
Well, I'm glad that you decided to come here instead.
Yeah.
But they offer you a free beer, which is pretty cool if you do the brewery tour.
Yeah. So you were in the East End? Is that where you were at the actual brewery?
At the restaurant with the brewery.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And anyway, I went in, and I had studied at Harlow with Mon, and we went and did a brewery tour there, and they were using the same grist. Dark chocolate malt.
Nice.
That came from the brewery that I was at in England, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, very cool.
So I see that you are a little bit of a beer fan yourself from following your Instagram stories.
Oh yeah, no. I was a brewer for 5 years.
What? You've had so much cool experience.
Yeah, I worked at a place called Propeller Brewing Company in Halifax. So I was a delivery driver, and then I started brewing. I think 3 years after I was delivering.
I've definitely heard of that one. But
yeah.
I don't think I've had it. What is it? Oh, do they have the white cans with the yellow?
I think they have cans now, but their symbol is basically just a propeller.
Okay.
But they have a extra special bitter. They're British style beers, so they have an IPA and the extra special bitter. Those are the flagship. But they do a really great Pilsner. They have a lot of great seasonal beers.
I know when I went, I also went to the Steam Whistle Brewery.
Oh, cool.
So I guess that's more of
down near the Sky Dome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool, but So I think that we need this service in St. John's. So if there's any breweries or brewers watching this, they have like this little green car, and you just like call them on the weekend, and they just like will like bring the full keg set up to your house, and then they'll come pick it up again. Like, that's my dream. I just want someone to like deliver me a keg on Fridays.
Well, I've heard that they, no, me too. But I've heard that the beer game in St. John's actually is going to be pretty, well, it's already pretty good, but I heard it's going to get better and better.
Yeah, I saw that there's a couple new ones popping up.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. I also really love the Port Rexton.
Yeah, totally. I think there's talks of us doing a pop-up in Port Rexton with them in May.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh, I know. I'm gonna be here, so that's exciting. I wasn't thinking that I was, but what was I gonna say? Yeah. So anyway, I'm super excited about the different breweries coming up.
Same.
What's your favorite beer?
I'd say a Pilsner. Yeah. Yeah. They're fermented for longer at a colder temperature, and they're usually a lot clearer. Like, Pilsner is probably my favorite.
Specific one? Could you pick one? Maybe two? Maybe 12?
Well, honestly, the Propeller Pilsner was like probably my favorite.
Yep.
To be honest with you, like brewing there and getting to taste all the beers, I just like a crisp carbonated beer.
A crisp carbonated. You want to know what? One of my favorite, I think it's a Pilsner, was when I was in Indonesia. They have this thing called bintang.
Oh, cool.
And they were pretty good. And they also made grapefruit bintang, but everyone would
like a Radler kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but it didn't say Radler. It just said like grapefruit bintang. But anyway, everyone would always give me shit because it's like there was so much like less alcohol than like a regular beer.
Right.
Because it was like 5 versus 3%. And they're like, why are you wasting your money? I'm like, guys, like to buy this beer is like 75 cents for like a liter. Like, I'm not gonna like go broke over that like 1.5%.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one of my favorites. I don't know. It's hard to pick because there's so many.
I do like stouts too, but like I think that Pilsner is just like the type of beer that I can like really drink the most and enjoy it.
I had a really good one. It's from Two Crows. Is that the one in Halifax? Split Crow, Two Crow?
Split Crow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do one.
It's like a pub, right?
No, there's a brewery. There's a brewery. Two Crows, I think.
Oh, okay.
It has something to do with crows. Anyway, it's in Halifax.
Okay, cool.
I bought one of their beers, and they did, what is it? It's honey oat or something like that, and it was amazing.
Oh, cool.
But my dad and I, when we were in Halifax, my dad is very strict Coors Light and Coors Light only.
Oh, an old man that only drinks Coors Light. That's so surprising.
I know, right? So we went to the Garrison in Halifax,
yeah.
and I just like picked out a bunch of random beers, and like we're like going through them, and he's going through them faster than me. So he gets like, we're supposed to split them like I think like 5-5, but he like starts going into my pile, and I was like, Dad, you're not gonna want to drink that one. And he's like, oh, whatever. He's like, I'll just, and it was a triple IPA. He was not impressed.
No, he was not.
We got back to the hotel, and he like cracks his Coors Light. He's like, finally, a good beer today. So I guess that's the typical old man attitude.
Yeah, no, for sure. He doesn't like the hoppy beers, I wouldn't say. But I mean, a lot of IPAs are just over hopped anyways, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, it just became such a trend, and everyone was over hopping every beer. It's like, that's not the point of it, you know?
No, I know. Because some of them, like, you're drinking.
Like, do you know why it's called an India Pale Ale?
Oh, are you gonna let me give my joke about this?
No, but go ahead.
Okay, this is my favorite joke. So I bartended for like quite a while.
Okay.
And everyone always orders like the classic India, like the Molson India.
Right.
So one of my favorite things, and I get so many gags from it. I'm like, you guys know why it's called India?
Get it, India?
No, that's totally wrong.
Okay.
So when you wake up in the morning, the next day, you say, I'm never drinking India again.
Okay. But do you actually know why it's called an India Pale Ale?
No, I'm sure that yours explanation is probably slightly less hilarious, but probably more
definitely
formal.
less hilarious. It was when the British occupied India. So to make the trip from England to India, they had to put a lot of hops to preserve it, and the high alcohol was there to preserve it as well. So it's actually India Pale Ales, IPAs are usually higher in alcohol, and they have a high hop content because they needed to last the journey from England to India.
I am literally in love with beer facts, so I'm super happy that you told me this.
All right.
But I don't discriminate though, like any alcohol facts really. Another fun one is apparently the Newfoundland Screech. Did you know that's made in Jamaica?
Oh yeah, trading cod for rum.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the story of why they call it Screech?
No.
There was like one of like the British army men, barracksmen, whatever. And I guess they tried to give it to him, and he like screeched when he drank it because it was so awful.
Yeah, it's the bottom of the barrel. It's the bottom of the barrel.
So that it was pretty funny. So I guess like what back. So before we started this podcast, so we like the process is writing some of the questions on the board. But I said to Billy, I was like, it often goes off on tangents,
which we did.
Which we did. But it was a good tangent. Any tangent about beer is like a really good tangent. I think.
For sure.
So what have been the benefits for you to having your business in Newfoundland?
Oh, benefits? None.
None.
There's not like it's been a challenge to say the least of just sourcing animals from small farms and people rearing them not necessarily the right way, but kind of like industry standard.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a challenge just to get the livestock or like those animals reared a specific way, but. I mean, I guess some of the benefits are like having friends and family around, knowing people, and the other benefit that no one's really doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm all about healthy competition, Like I'd like to see a bunch of young people butchering or being involved in farming or whatever. A big part of this is to try to create an industry, try to create like an economy, and try to pay ourselves. Like 90% of our food is imported.
Yeah.
That's crazy, It's like there's land and there's the passion, and we have the young people, so.
Well, I think like with Newfoundland food security too, it's really concerning because if you think about it, like when we get like a bad snowstorm coming where you're going to be like in your house for like a day or 2 or 3 or whatever, like I've gone to the grocery store and there's like no bread, there's nothing.
No, totally. And that's the other thing too is like when you talk about food stability and stuff, like, yeah, we sell meat and stuff, but like we're all about sustainability and like all about like people growing their own vegetables, people just growing their own food. Like I mean, maybe it was the train when we lost the train in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
But whatever happened is just like we're shipping all this food here, there's all these fossil fuels being burnt. Our roads are fucking destroyed. It's like I just feel like this is a vehicle, people base a lot of their meals on proteins. We're just a vehicle for people here to kind of get engaged in food and local food because Newfoundland, it has so much potential to be a sustainable, ethical place to grow food,
And I think like for me, so like a lot of the meals that I eat are vegetarian, but only like it's more like just like a health thing for me. I just feel better. But
of course,
one of the things that I find like concerning too is like I do take like documentaries and all that with like a total grain of salt because I'm a nutrition student, so I've learned to question everything. But I find one of the things I find a little bit concerning is just the factory farming mentality, and I really like that you guys are kind of getting away from that and making sure that we know what you're getting is ethically sourced and that they're being treated right. So I think that that's a huge step, and it gives like reliability too. So that like when you go to Best Kind Butchers, you're getting like a good product, it's local, it's ethical. So you guys have really positioned your brand that way, I guess.
Of course, yeah. That's how it has to be. Like the thing is like you can make money selling meat, but it's not, like I said, it's not about just like making a buck or selling meat. Like, this is like a bigger plan. This is a bigger, this is bigger than us just selling meat, right? So, I have aspirations to be a farmer, permaculture, all that stuff,
That's on my list of goals and aspirations as well. Yeah. I would like to have 2 pet goats.
Cool.
Named Corey and Trevor.
Okay, cool. Nice. After the Trailer Park Boys. Yeah. Nice. Good call.
And my little sheepdog named Bubbles to keep them in line.
Yeah, donkeys are good too.
Donkeys are they? I don't know.
They're like the best guard animals.
What? That's crazy.
Oh, like I've got photos. Like my friend in Italy, he's got a donkey, and it protects his pigs and his sheep from wolves.
Oh.
Donkeys are saucy animals. Yeah.
What do you think of chickens? I don't know. Like, I've been like considering. I mean, this is like a long ways away.
Like laying hens or like poultry?
Like laying hens. I have a rooster near my house at home. It is the most fucking annoying thing on the planet.
So, but you don't need a rooster actually. So the reason why people have roosters is the pecking order to keep like the hens from picking on one hen.
Yeah.
But apparently ducks and geese do the same thing, but you don't need like the kind of every morning, right, with the cock. So you can actually use ducks and geese to kind of stop the pecking order within your hens.
It's so funny that you say that. I was just talking to like another friend. I've been like recently reading this book, and it's called 12 Rules to Life, An Antidote to Chaos. It's like the new Jordan Peterson book.
Okay.
But in that book, he like talks about the pecking order and how like comparing it to like human behavior, I guess, and how like a lot of people think that, you know, I guess it sounds bad to say it, but like everyone is equal and on equal playing fields. But even like in the animal kingdom, that's not necessarily true. Like some people start out ahead of others, and some, I guess, are a little bit behind. So it's really like interesting way. A little bit.
We are animals.
We are animals.
You know?
I know, right? So that was just another little side tangent. But I'm like a bit of an avid reader, and I'm I guess as like a business person, a lot of people, what they don't expect about me is I'm actually like a science student.
Oh, cool.
So reading like things like that about human behavior, I find really, really interesting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So as you guys may have seen from my fangirling earlier on Instagram this week, he is my probably favorite person to follow on Instagram. Because he is hilarious. You like, okay. Not really, but cool. Yeah, cool. Okay. So a couple weeks ago, he had this story, and it was about salting the roads in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
So could you give your advice from that story?
Well, it was just salting the sidewalks, and it was a government building, so obviously someone from the government did it, and it was the worst job I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was insane. Honestly, though.
So
no, but really, like it was ridiculous. Like, we paid for this.
So looking at the picture, you know, like normally, like if you like put salt in your driveway, you like go out, you like spread it around, like take your Tim Hortons cup, whatever. This was like mound of salt, 5 feet mound of salt.
Yeah. So, who does that?
Right? And I was like watching his story, and he's like no matter what you do, like do your best work.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do in life, just do your best. And if you're laying salt on the sidewalks, just spread it out. Like, it's not even that hard. Like, seriously, like, it's not a hard job. You know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. I totally agree with you, but
the government is like this bloated pig.
And this is coming from someone who carries pigs around. If you guys have seen the picture promoting this podcast today, it's actually him holding, it was a pig or a lamb in that one?
That was a quarter of beef.
That was a beef.
Yeah.
As you can see, I know my animals really, really well.
No worries. Most people don't want to touch a chicken breast, so it's all good.
Okay, that's chicken. I actually like chicken is my fave. Probably I go through quite a bit of that.
It's the #1 selling protein, poultry.
Is it?
Yeah, and then it's beef.
And then it's beef. Well, I was not aware of such poultry facts.
Oh yeah, everyone, like most people will eat chicken. Yeah, like I would say, yeah, number one protein for sure. Yeah.
Wow, this is interesting.
And I don't even sell it.
I was like looking this week. I was looking at like the efficacy of phytoplankton. It's like a nutritional supplement.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Also, just aquatic vegetation, like a lot of lambs. There's like fleur de sal or soleil de sal. It's a type of lamb in France. And we have the same thing here. That's the thing about Newfoundland, right? So basically, these lambs they lamb on moorland or like pasture that's near the ocean. So there's a lot of salt deposit on the grass. And then they eat that salty grass, and it gives it a unique flavor, unique kind of marbling, intra and intermuscular marbling.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was not aware of this either.
Yeah.
I'm like learning all the foods I have to cook. So after I started following him on Instagram, I think like the very first response to his story that I ever had, you were making like some kind of pasta with I don't know what it was, like a red sauce. I don't know
So it was like a Bolognese.
Okay.
Yeah, Bolognese that I built off of some Italian sausage that we make. So salt, pepper, toasted fennel, parsley, chilies, garlic, and yeah, a lot of Parmesan.
Okay, so he missed a spot with the Parmesan. He had like the whole plate, and it was like
it was a copious amount of Parmesan.
It was a copious amount of Parmesan. It was all covered except for there's like this one spot. It was like the salt people, except for with Parmesan.
It's totally true.
So he missed like one spot, and I think I like messaged him, and I was like, "This is poor execution. You missed a spot."
Yeah, I know. I fucked up. I'm sorry. Fucked up on the parm.
So our original Instagram bonding was over Parmesan.
That's good.
That's a good thing, I think, to bond over. 100%. I don't know.
Parmesan's amazing. Who doesn't like Parmesan?
Have you ever seen that meme? And my roommate doesn't. Isn't that so weird? I think we should kick her out.
Whatever. She don't know yet.
I saw this like the meme thing. I'm sure everyone saw it, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. And it's like, was it like they asked me for Parmesan and they say when. but I don't say when. And it's like the restaurant fills with Parmesan, everyone dies or something like that. And I was like, this is my life.
Yeah, fair enough.
When you go places, like, who wants to actually say when? Like, I just start to get uncomfortable because I'm like, okay, well, like, obviously they're done with me. Like, they want me to say stop. So I'll be like, when? But I always say, like, really reluctantly.
Oh, for sure. 100%. All the parm. You can just put parm all over that. Actually, pepper too. That's good. Like the cracked pepper.
Chili flakes.
Yeah, see, but the chili flakes are in their sausage mix, so I need to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I was not aware of this.
Yeah.
So, as such a talented Instagram storyteller,
Yeah.
how did you, like, decide, you know, because, like, with you, so he doesn't just have his personal account. There is the Best Kind Butcher's account, too, which I also follow and fan over. So, you guys are really good with, like, storytelling on that, too. So, what was it that made you decide, like, we're going to really focus on this platform?
Just because it made sense, it works. I think that, you know, social media, I think if you asked anyone, social media is like this kind of platform that is paramount within any business, really. You know, you have to be on social media, and Instagram was just one of those things, along with Facebook, that just happened, and people here use those platforms. So it was a no-brainer. Like, you know, we don't have Snapchat or we don't have Twitter. Like, Twitter's something I've entertained because people here use Twitter.
I find it weird too. So as like a social media manager and content developer, I am like, Twitter's like my least favorite. I don't know, like.
Yeah, but you see, Twitter is really popular in the States, and I find Newfoundland has a huge American influence.
So I have a Twitter, but I like keep it private. It's not a business Twitter, it's just a personal Twitter. And it's like me like complaining or like saying hilarious things or like stupid stuff that I saw.
That sounds like Twitter.
But I'm like, I don't want the world to see this.
No.
I'm like, so I like just like select that. Like, I don't even think I accept like new followers anymore. It's a hashtag exclusive club now.
Right. Okay. Cool. Very cool. Very exclusive.
Exclusive. Yeah. Or I like one of my favorite ones. I hope my mom's not watching. She's home today, but I don't think she is.
Hi, Mom.
I always love like posting screenshots of the conversations that I have with my mom because like sometimes she's just like so funny. So a couple weeks ago, my mom was working and she was like in meetings. So I sent her a message and I was like, "Hey, Mom," I was like, I found a really cheap flight to Costa Rica. Should I go? And then I just waited and she didn't answer me. It was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I was like, "So I'm going to Costa Rica."
Nice.
And she's like,
"Did you go? Are you going?"
I'm going in April.
5-star surfing every day.
Okay, so
5 stars.
Last year I went on vacation for like a couple months, and I went to Bali, and they were like, I went on like a 8-day like tour with Wanderlands, and they're like, part of your tour is like you get surf lessons, and I like walked to the beach and I looked at the waves, and then I looked at myself, well, I guess introspectively, and I was just like, no way. I was like, I would break all my bones.
First time I went surfing, I almost drowned.
What? Yeah. See, I was thinking about trying it in Costa Rica, and now you're scaring me.
I did it in Lawrencetown, Nova Scotia.
I've seen there's like some pretty good surfing in Nova Scotia.
Oh, there's good surfing here. There's good surfing in Nova Scotia. There's good surfing here. Yeah, really good surf. It's just, it's not popular, so no one really knows the spots.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that it was like kind of like, I guess, bigger thing, but I think it is growing. But then I went to Australia right after because I like went for like 2.5 months just kind of traveling around. And again, they were like, oh, like surfing lessons is like part of your tour. And then I thought of the waves in Bali, and I was like, no way. I was like, those ones, like you walked out and like it was like, whoo, like they almost like sucked you in like while you were like walking.
Oh yeah, you have to watch. You have to watch the waves. That's like surfing.
Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, no, exactly. I took my eyes off the shore, and it was like late, and the tide was starting to go out, and that's when I got pulled out, and I was on a small board, so
yep.
I was kind of like doomed, you know. Longboards, it's much easier to surf and as well as to paddle. So I was on a smaller board, and I kind of got pulled out, paddled for my life, literally. Yeah, if basically the guy I was with was like, if you don't paddle for your life right now, I'm gonna have to go in and we're gonna have to get the Coast Guard and they're gonna have to get you.
Well, that sounds like a really scary experience.
It was intense. And at the time there was like great white sharks like right off the coast that were tracked. Yeah, so
sharks are
in my head I was just thinking like, man, I'm gonna get killed by a great white shark.
Sharks are my biggest phobia. Like I'm not even.
But you're so like the thing statistically it's so unlikely
sharks
that you'd
and
be
goats.
attacked. Goats?
Ghosts.
Oh, ghosts. I was like, goats? Didn't you just say you were going to get
No, I
goats?
love goats. I love goats. I don't really like birds, but sharks. Whenever I'm like going somewhere, like, 'cause, like I travel like a fair amount, I always like look at the beaches and like wherever I'm going, and I'm like Googling. I'm like, is this like a shark central zone? So one of my most proud moments of myself was on my way back from like Southeast Asia and Australia. I stopped in Hawaii for a few days, and I went swimming at Waikiki Beach quite a bit.
Tiger sharks.
What? See? Look at why. But I was like, I went in, and before I went, I had this, like, I had a lot of regrets that I did this myself. I was looking at, like, Hawaii shark attacks. Because I was like, if I do, like, a little bit of swimming, like, I'm sure, like, I'll be fine. And it was like, man, because you can see, like, when they keep the records, they keep the depth, like, how far out people were when they got attacked by sharks.
Yeah.
And it's like, one guy, like, was standing on the rocks, and, like, a shark came up and got him and, like, took him into the water. And I was like...
Yeah, but I mean, statistically, it's so unlikely for you to get attacked by a shark.
I know, it is statistically unlikely.
You're more likely to win the lottery.
But that doesn't make me feel better about it.
Fair enough. No, I listen, when like I said...
If I win the lottery, I'm never going swimming again.
Yeah, there you go. Your odds.
Yeah, I was like paddle boarding, and like the whole time I'm like looking down and like, please be no sharks. But when I go to Costa Rica, I'm going to Tamarindo, and so I was like, I'm not going to do this myself. I'm not going to look up sharks. I was like, I want to try surfing, so I'm not going to do this myself. So I was like looking at pictures of Tamarindo Beach, and I was like scrolling through, and I was like, beautiful, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's like this shadow in the water, and I'm like, that's not a shark. It's like saltwater crocodile, like bites the leg off a tourist, and I was like, oh my god. Like,
now that's something to be afraid of.
and I wasn't even looking for like shark attacks.
Saltwater crocodiles get bigger than great white sharks, so they're massive. They're like 22, 23 feet or something. It's insane.
I'm gonna stop asking you questions about animals because
saltwater crocodiles are so dangerous.
I think like it says in the rainy season, so like they're usually in I think the river, but what happens is like during the rainy season the brackish water like extends.
Yeah.
So they like go further. But I don't think I'm going during the rainy season.
That's good.
So I'm hoping I'm not gonna get eaten by a saltwater crocodile.
Perfect. Fingers crossed.
Feel your support here.
Yeah, I got you. No worries. That's all it takes.
Yeah, no, it's like just it's a phobia of mine. Do you have a specific phobia, or are you like super brave? He has like a bunch of tattoos, so I feel like he like looks tough.
Yeah,
are you as tough as you seem?
No, God no. I guess I have some phobias. I don't know. I guess I was afraid of sharks too, like great white sharks and stuff. But I love them. I love those animals. And statistically, it's so unlikely for you to be attacked. Plus, like, they just attack you because they think you're a seal. Or they're incredibly hungry. So.
Have you ever watched, like, you see those people, like, do the cage diving things where the shark's, like, beating on the cage?
Totally, yeah.
And I'm like, why would someone do that to themselves? Like, I don't want to be, like, in the presence of the shark. I just want to be, like...
Did you see that new Mandy Moore movie where they're in the cage and it gets, like, broken and they sink to the bottom of the ocean? Worth a watch. It's like 37 meters, or it's like the depth that they are. So they're like in a cage and it breaks and they sink to the bottom and they're being saved.
Have you ever been scuba diving?
No.
Not been scuba
diving. I want to start scallop diving though.
Oh, yeah. That seems like a pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'd really like to get into that.
So I'm like a huge seafood fan. Seafood is my bae. I love like all of it.
Nice.
And I was like eating, I guess I have to preface this story. My dad, he used to like love it too. And when he was like probably like 25 or so, he had an allergic reaction to lobster. Oh wow. So after that, he like didn't eat any like seafood or
like shellfish or just all seafood?
Shellfish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't eat any. So I was like having a seafood basket, like, you know, like when they fry it all and like they put it all in, it's delicious. So I was having one of those and like my throat kind of like started to like close over a bit, not a lot, just a bit. And I was like, oh man, I'm like definitely like getting a shellfish reaction. So I went and like got a allergy test done specifically because I was like, I'm such a huge seafood fan that I was like, I can't give them all up. I was like, I can't give all shellfish up. Like, I was like, so I have to figure out exactly which one it is. Yeah. So I'm standing there, I'm like, please be shrimp, because like out of all the things in the basket, that was like probably like my least favorite. Right. And they told me it was scallops.
Oh no way.
And I almost like cried.
Brutal.
So bacon wrapped scallops, I like actually dream about.
I was just gonna say bacon wrapped scallops.
So every now and again, what I do is I like I have like I'll eat like one and I'll eat two. And I'll be like, my mouth will start to tingle, and I'm like, okay, it's time to stop.
Wow, you're like
live on the edge.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, but they're so good.
They are so good.
How can you give it up? Like, I don't know. I kind of look at it.
That's why I want to start scallop diving. I love them.
I would risk my life for one of those scallops if you start to dive to get them.
It's so good. Yeah, that's the plan, but it's a lot of money, a lot of startup. You need a boat and all the scuba gear, and yeah, it's expensive.
I know, like, I guess scuba diving too. I've known like a few people who've like started to do their certification, and they get like they get out there on the water. As soon as they hit the water, they panic, and that's like what I'm a little bit afraid of. But I've been snorkeling quite a few times.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good in water. Like I can swim. I snorkel, all that stuff. Like I don't have any issues with swimming, but the actual like depth, like you have to go so deep. It's cold. Usually the season is winter season. So.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
I think so I've been snorkeling probably like 5 or 6 times, but like almost half of those times have just been like really awful experiences, but I like keep going back. So when I was in Thailand, I actually like jumped into a place called Shark Bay.
Cool. This person is saying cage diving with sharks is on my bucket list.
Cage diving with sharks is on your bucket list. That is not on my bucket list. It took everything in me.
It's on my bucket list.
Of course it is. It took everything in me to jump in this place called Shark Bay. And like most likely there was not even going to be sharks. And if they were going to be like little nurse sharks.
Right.
But it was terrifying. But when I was in Jamaica, like one of the first times I went snorkeling, we got like out, like probably like, I don't know, like we swam from the shore like out to the reef. And when we got out there, we were out there for like 15 or 20 minutes or whatever. And then a storm came in.
Jesus.
And like, I'm like a pretty good swimmer. So I like didn't have my life jacket on. And I honestly thought I was like gonna die. I was like, ugh. I like arrived at like the shore. Like everyone by this time had like fled the beach because it's like raining and like waves, and I was just like, oh my goodness. Like
sounds like my surfing experience.
Your surfing experience. Yeah. I think another time too, I actually got like when I was in Bali, I went snorkeling and they gave me bad gear.
Oh no way.
So the first time my mask was leaking. No, it wasn't my mask. My thing was like leaking a little bit, so I switched it. It's my snorkel, and they gave me a new set. And I was like swimming along, they gave me a new one. Then all of a sudden, the new one that they gave me, the snorkel part broke away from like this part.
Oh wow.
And I had to like swim to like try to find my boat, and I like couldn't snorkel anymore because I had no like.
No way.
Yeah, it was so scary. And I wound up like finding like there's like 15 boats there, and I was like, can you like find my boat, sir? Like I go to like one of the boats, and luckily like this nice like little man, he was like, come on aboard, like you could see I was like exhausted. I was like, so I love snorkeling, but I just don't really have good experiences. I guess
fair
that's
enough.
Like,
yeah, that sounds terrible.
That's you with surfing.
No, after that was the first.
I almost drowned once, but I kept doing it.
Yeah, 100%. That was the first time. After that, it was amazing. Yeah.
Do you surf here?
No. I don't have time to really.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know. Yeah, just right now I don't have time. Like I'd entertain it, but I think I'd rather like scallop dive than surf here.
Yeah.
Just my basic interests. Like when I was in Halifax or when I was living in Halifax, I had enough time and I could dedicate time to it.
Do you usually do the Capelin roll thing? Do you go check out the Capelin when they?
Yeah, like I've been doing that since I was a kid. I think less and less I'm doing it because I'm not really sure what the Capelin like kind of stock situation is. So I kind of don't want to be I don't want to be greedy, until there's like some like, concrete information, knowledge about it. I still do it, but not as much as I did.
That's how I feel about a lot of things. Like I feel like there's so many people, especially like in the hunting and fishing world, because I grew up in rural New Brunswick, so I'm definitely like I'm in that world too. I'm like I'll follow like we go get our moose, and my moose license a couple years ago I wound up getting one, so that was pretty exciting. But it really agitates me, the people who like just do it for sport and then like leave the animal, and I'm like, this is like not like this is meat that could be like providing for a family, and they just like leave it. So that kind of makes me like or a little sad. Or like they go, because we have grouse. I think you guys call them we call them partridge. You guys call them grouse. Yep. And we have like I think like a daily bag limit of like 6. But people will like go and take 6, and then they might not even like eat them all. They just do it for sport. So I'm like a huge fan of like sustainable.
Why wouldn't you eat grouse? It's so good.
Right? I know. It's like one of my favorite things to do in the fall is like when I go home is to go like grouse hunting. I think that's like and this is like another thing people don't expect about me, because I guess like now that I'm in St. John's, I'm a little bit of a city slicker.
Right.
But I actually like really enjoy hunting, and I think one of my favorite podcasts to listen to is the Joe Rogan Show. He does one with Cameron Haynes. Do you know who Cameron Haynes is?
Well, I know the Joe Rogan Show.
Okay, you should totally follow Cameron Haynes because he's totally into that too, like sustainable meat development and like going hunting and like whenever he goes, like because he like does some big hunts in Australia and stuff, and he like gives all the meat to like the like local communities. So I think that that's like a pretty cool thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've heard a few events here where the guys go and they have their tags for moose, and then they like kind of do a fundraiser and basically cook the moose for the local community, people who are at risk or people who are in hard situations, and kind of like do these meals and raise money. It's pretty cool.
Wow, I haven't heard of that. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
If you want to hear another fun fact, today's episode seems to be all about fun facts. Fun animal facts, even more specifically. The moose in Newfoundland. So I guess like the population has been like declining recently, I think I've read, but there's still like quite a few. The original moose that came to Newfoundland were from my hometown in Miramichi, New Brunswick.
Oh, cool.
But I try not to tell people that because they seem to get really mad.
Really?
They're like, thanks a lot. Because I guess there's just so many like moose vehicle accidents, and they're a pest on the highways and a pest to like the natural environment. They like eat the bark off the trees and stuff. So that's my shameful secret for this Friday.
Wow. It's not too shameful.
So I guess our final part here. So let's say I want to buy some of this delicious sausage that is spicy for my Bolognese sauce.
Yeah.
How can I get that from you?
So we do the farmers markets, and we're currently talking with some people at some stores around town. Mm-hmm. So if you're on social media or something, you can hit us up and check it out there. But yeah, hopefully we're going to have our product in a few stores, and basically every Saturday you can find us at the market, whether it's the Some Good Market or the St. John's Farmers Market. Like tomorrow, we're at the St. John's Farmers Market.
As long as it doesn't snow a ton. By all means, going to. It says 10 centimeters, so I think you guys should totally go see him at the market tomorrow. So a couple weeks ago, before we were like officially Instagram besties,
right.
I was at the Some Good Market, and I was like going to say, hey, but they had like a lineup with like 5 people, and I was like, I think like they had like one of like the longest like lineups around the Some Good Market. So they're obviously doing something right. They're pretty popular.
Yeah.
So as we always end our show, for anyone that watches, we have the Jar of Awesome, which he has to reach and get because it's on his side.
Okay. Jar of Awesome.
The way that this works is any of you guys who are watching or anything like that can submit questions for our guests, or you can like send it to me in an email, Instagram, whatever. And we shake it all up here. There's some questions from you guys, some questions from me. They're just like generic like life skills questions. So we usually pick out 3. So have at it.
So I pick out 3?
Usually pick out like 1 at a time.
Okay, 1. So I read this?
Yeah.
What is your favorite word? Ooh. I like paramount.
Paramount?
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. Why paramount?
It's the utmost importance.
I didn't really know the definition of it.
Yeah.
I was thinking paramount like, like the movies.
The most important
the
movies.
The most important movies. Cool. I like that one. Okay.
Another one?
Yep. We get to pick out 3.
Here we go. What qualities do you think are most important for a leader? Ooh.
Some of these questions are really deep and some of them are really ridiculous.
I guess conviction.
Like being convicted, or
no, like having conviction and
like having a conviction, like has been to prison.
No,
just kidding.
The conviction on making a decision.
You're killing me. I'm like so indecisive.
There you go. You can't be a leader.
I know.
You can't be a leader.
Like it's like when things count, but like, oh my god, you know what stresses me out? When you go places, especially like in food courts and stuff, because you want to look at the menu, but then they're looking at you and you're so stressed out and you're like, you have like this pressure to like pick something like immediately, and I don't know, and then
I'm trying to be less indecisive.
I have FOMO because like I get like, one thing and I'm like, oh, I wish I gotten the other.
Or just get both of them.
Just get both of them. I never thought of that.
Yeah. Double down.
I mean, I don't know how I feel, because like, what if I have like 2 food combos? Like that seems like a lot.
Don't get the food combo on one. Just get the sandwich or whatever. The main.
The main.
No sides.
So one of my favorite things.
2-piece without the fries.
One of my favorite things to get at the farmers market is Curry Delight. Have you had it?
Oh, it's delicious.
Oh my god, they're like
all kinds of good food down there.
Their food that they make is freaking amazing. Like I didn't even really think I liked curry that much. Like I don't know, I'd had it like
such a broad word.
Right? I had it like once or twice, like different ones. And, like,
what kind of curry do you mean?
I was like, it's good, but like, you know, like I don't go crazy for it. Now I'm like their biggest fangirl. I like show up in the market and I'm like, I need your like chickpea curry and I need your butter chicken, and they do like spicy rice.
Yeah. Do you know that butter chicken is a British thing?
Oh.
From occupation in India.
Did you know that the national dish of Britain is tikka masala?
That seems like an occupied country. Like that seems like a country that occupies places for sure.
Right? When you think of like, okay, so you think like, what is the national dish of Britain? You think like, what is it, like Yorkshire pudding or like boiled dinner? I guess is more Irish.
Yeah.
But or you think like fish and chips.
Mm-hmm.
And you, like,
that's a Greece. That's from Greece.
Fish and chips is from Greece.
Big time. Yeah.
What? I knew that they did like fried calamari, but I did not know.
No, fish and chips in Britain, like that's a Greece thing for sure.
One of the best fish and chips I've ever had in my life was in England, and they gave me a piece of fish like bigger than my face.
Yeah, the Greeks know what's up. You know, they don't mess around.
What is your favorite fish and chip in town? This isn't even from the jar. I just need to ask.
By the Sea or the Duke on Duckworth has a good one.
You're speaking directly to my heart.
My dad. Yeah, okay, my dad for sure, yeah. He's like from a little tiny fishing community. He knows what's up.
So I think my favorite one in town is Leo's.
Leo's is Leo's is like okay. It's okay,
really.
Yeah,
That's
for
like,
me, yeah.
See, I am a big fan of the Leo's. I don't know. It's just like such a greasy spoon. Like you go in,
yeah, for sure.
Like the furniture and like the decor like looks like it hasn't been updated since like they opened.
What's the spot that's over? Scampers. That's good. Scampers is good.
I have not had the Scampers one.
Scampers is good.
Ooh, I've had the Yellow Belly one, which is pretty
over
good too.
near the Avalon Mall is real good.
Have you ever had the one from Fabulous Foods? It's like around the corner from me.
I've been to Fabulous Foods. Like my dad, when the resettlement happened, he was in like Outport, Newfoundland. So when the resettlement happened and they made everyone who lived out around the bay move into St. John's, he actually moved into Field Street. So he grew up around.
So you're a rabbit towner like myself.
No, that's where my dad moved.
Okay, sorry. I thought you lived there too.
No, that's where my dad moved when the resettlement happened. Yeah.
So you're a bit of a Fabulous Foods connoisseur. I've never had it yet, so I'm
Oh, it's good. They got these turkey like sandwiches. I don't know, man. They're so good. Yeah.
I cooked a turkey a few weeks ago, and honestly, I thought I was gonna die. I had so much turkey. It was like you like cook it once. So I like made it for like my roommate and I think it was like the smallest one that they had at Sobeys. We had turkey dinner, and then I had hot turkey sandwiches, leftovers. And then I had turkey nachos. And then eventually I was like, okay, like I'm done. Like I can't do anything else. I made like a turkey quesadilla, and I was like, I put some in the freezer. And then we had like turkey pasta like a couple days later. And
Damn.
I know it goes so far, but
all the turkey.
Right, it's so much. I don't know. I'm like dreaming of the day you guys start doing turkey and chicken.
Yeah, well, we're working on it.
Thing?
Yeah, specifically turkeys. That's what we're working on.
I will definitely buy those at the market.
Cool.
A whole turkey. I'll just carry. You know, you carry like that.
Yeah.
That pig or like.
These will be
lamb.
smaller turkeys, like because it's a different type of turkey that you'd buy from like the grocery store. You know?
Have you ever met a turkey? Are they like pretty violent? I don't know. They seem kind of scary.
I've met turkeys. I mean, all birds like that are pretty saucy.
Pretty saucy, okay.
It like, you know, the whole pecking order thing and stuff like that.
I was once attacked by an ostrich.
Oh, wow. That's not fun.
At the Moncton Zoo. He like pecked my ponytail and stole my ice cream.
Oh, wow. Did you deserve it?
No, I was just trying to get a selfie with him. Well,
cool.
There wasn't a selfie back in those days. Like, selfie wasn't a thing. I guess it was like a disposable camera photo.
He got you.
Yeah.
He was like, don't take my photo.
He was a bit of an asshole. I'm really glad we're talking about animals, because like some animals are like so nice, but like, man, there's some that are just real assholes.
We're animals, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Have you ever ridden a camel?
No.
Don't do it. 0 to 10, do not recommend.
No, I've never been on a camel.
I got thrown off one.
Oh, wow.
So I would not recommend it.
Okay. All right. Good to know. No camels. No camels.
It's my favorite party story. When people are like just like chatting. I don't know. I'm really awkward with like when it's like a large group of people. So I just tell like really awful, like embarrassing, stupid things that have happened to me. And I'm just like, yeah, like one time I got thrown off a camel. Or my other favorite story there's like a guy who works here at Common Ground, and we were like talking about tattoos or something, and my mom's friend had gotten one in Cuba, and I was like, I don't know, like that seems like a little sketchy. I'm not sure if I would like get a tattoo in Cuba, like just because like I don't know, like to me just like a lot of the needles and stuff.
Pathogens.
Yeah, and then I remembered, well, yeah, because I don't think their water is great. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me, but when I was in Thailand, we went to like this bar called the Reggae Bar, and there's like people who are like boxing in the bar, but they're bar patrons. You get like a jug of liquor if you'll go into like the fighting ring.
Cool.
So had a couple, and they don't give you like a glass, they give you like a kid's sand bucket.
Right.
With
like
liquor.
Like a pitcher.
Yeah, but a sand bucket.
Right on.
So I was like, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna hang out here. I'm having my drinks. And then my friend and I was like, okay. I was like, come on, I'm gonna go get a tattoo. And he's like, what? Like, no, you're not. And I was so drunk. And I was like, I walked up I hope like my mom or my grandmother's not watching this. Well, my mom knows. My Nia might be disappointed in me. But I was like,
your nan's on this social media platform right now?
Yeah, she's on Facebook. But I don't think she's watching.
Okay.
So, but sometimes she does watch them, but we're just gonna pretend she's not.
Okay.
Because she'd be disappointed in me. But
okay.
I walked up to like one guy.
It's 2018, Nan. No reason to be disappointed.
I walked up to one guy and I was like, hey, like, how much for a tattoo? And he's like, $120 Canadian is basically what it equaled out to. And I was like, no. I was like, I would pay that like in Canada. I was like, I'm not paying that in Thailand. I was really drunk. I went to another one. I was like, they were like $75. And I was like, that's a little better. I might come back. And then I went to one. They're like basically like $30 or $25. And I was like, sold.
Nice. So you got it.
I got it.
Was it worth it?
It was. Like, they did a stick and poke one.
Cool.
It wound up being a little more because it was a little bit bigger than like they originally thought it was going to have to be because I was getting like an older one that I didn't like covered.
Right.
But it turned out really well.
Awesome.
And while I was doing it, I got to pet a cat.
Okay. Now you see, that might be a worry.
Well, I don't know.
Cat dander.
It was like open air, but I was hitting my shoulder and the cat was like, near my feet. So, but
take risks.
I watched it. He like opened the needle and I was like, okay, I'm fine.
All right.
So we get to pick one more question.
One more question. Here we go. All right. Mix it around. What motivates you when you are feeling discouraged? I'm trying not to feel discouraged. Yeah. So I try to keep like a nice healthy mind frame. And sometimes I obviously get down, but I have amazing people in my life who support me. And then I just try to, be patient, shut my mouth and just work. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like that ethic.
Yeah.
Big fan of that motto.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for tuning in. So keep your head down, work, and go to the farmer's market tomorrow to get all of these delicious eats from this guy. And if you guys want to follow him on social media, where can they find you?
Instagram.
At Codfish Billy. I had to ask him his last name today because I've been referring to him as Codfish Billy for a while.
Yeah, so that's my personal.
Oh, okay.
And Best Kind Butchers is the Instagram, and Facebook Best Kind Butchers.
Awesome. So give them a follow, and of course, go pick up their stuff tomorrow. Bye, guys.
See